everyone. Today we'll be learning about the circulatory system, and it's not on your paper, but it's SOL 10.1a, which is that the students are able to list 11 of the 11 body systems. Okay? Okay, so first of all, what is a body system? So a body system is a collection of parts able to work together to serve a common purpose. Do any of you know, off the top of your head, one of the body systems? You may have learned it in anatomy. Yes, Philip. Good. Anybody else? Yes? Lymphatic. Nice. The endocrine system. Great. All right, so here's a look at a few of them. So we have the respiratory system, which is with breathing. We have the digestive, which is food processing. Endocrine, which is hormone regulation. Urinary, which is waste elimination. The reproductive, which is continuing as a species, and the nervous, which is communicating throughout the body. So there are 11, so there's 5 more. And those are integumentary, which protects the body from damage through the skin. The muscular, which is movement of the body. Skeletal, which is for support. The lymphatic, which is for defense against disease. And then the circulatory system, which we will be doing today, which is blood circulating throughout the body. Okay, so these are the functions of the circulatory system. These are the main jobs that it does. So it carries blood to the heart and the rest of the body. It delivers oxygen and nutrients to the cells. There is some waste excretion or reduction, but that's not one of the main points. It protects the body from infection, and there is blood clotting after injury. Okay, these are the main components of the circulatory system. So we have the heart, the lungs, the arteries, the veins, and the capillaries. And the circulatory system is made up of blood vessels that carry blood away and towards the heart. Okay, so now we're going to take a look at those components a little bit closer. So first we have the heart, which is split into 4 chambers. And we have the upper chambers, which are called the atria, and the lower chambers, which are called the ventricles. And it has muscular walls and is divided into 2 sides. Next, we have the lungs, which give oxygen to the blood. We have the bronchial tubes, the bronchioles, and the alveoli, which are seen up there. Next, we have the arteries, which in a lot of these pictures, it will be like the red ones, if you see red and blue. And they're blood vessels. They carry the oxygenated blood from the heart to the other tissues. And there's 3 different layers of the arteries. Okay. Next, we have the veins, which are seen in blue up there. And they're another type of blood vessel. And they carry the deoxygenated blood from the body back to the heart to be reoxygenated. And there are 3 types. There's deep, superficial, and pulmonary. Okay, next we have the capillaries, and they're very tiny blood vessels. They connect the arteries to the veins, and they exchange elements between blood and tissues, and that's known as the capillary exchange, but it's a little bit more on the science side, so we're not going to go into that today. Okay, so next we're going to look at this video, which is showing how the blood moves through the heart through the things that I just described.
Training our bodies.
Wait, how do I do this?
Training our bodies. Helps our minds. To go after
Like
the
where?
moments which develop us. To go after the moments which develop us. Imagine who we
Oh, perfect.
You got the magic touch, Ryan.
Thank you.
While arteries have blood flowing from the heart. The blue is representative of blood flowing from the heart.
Oh my god. Okay. Where's the mouse? Can you please help?
receives blood from the trunk.
There we go.
Thank you.
Veins are blood vessels.
Okay, we'll try again.
While arteries have blood flowing from the heart. The blue is representative of blood vessels containing deoxygenated blood, while the red blood vessels have oxygenated blood fresh from the lungs. Now, let's follow the path of the blood through the heart. The superior vena cava receives blood from the head, neck, upper limbs, and chest. Meanwhile, the inferior vena cava receives blood from the trunk, viscera, and lower limbs. Both the superior and inferior vena cava end up in the right atrium, one of the 4 chambers of the heart. The heart not only has 4 chambers, it also has 4 valves. The purpose of the valves is to keep blood moving in the right direction and not flow backwards. Blood exits the right atrium through the tricuspid valve, so called because it has 3 flaps, and enters the right ventricle. The blood exits the right ventricle through the pulmonary valve and enters the pulmonary artery. Again, it is an artery because blood is flowing away from the heart, but it is blue because it lacks oxygen. The pulmonary artery then splits into the left and right pulmonary arteries, which go to each respective lung. In the lungs, gas exchange occurs. The blood discards carbon dioxide and picks up oxygen. Now, blood comes back from the lungs through the pulmonary veins, entering the left atrium. Next, the blood is pumped into the left ventricle through the mitral or bicuspid valve. Finally, the oxygenated blood leaves the left ventricle through the aortic semilunar valve, entering the aortic arch. The aorta, which is the largest of all the arteries, distributes the oxygenated blood to the rest of the body. The aortic arch has 3 major branches, which supply the head and arms with blood. Then the aorta curls downward behind the heart, forming the descending aorta, which descends through the chest and continues down through the abdomen. In the abdomen, the descending aorta splits to supply the pelvis and legs with blood.
If you like this video, please like and subscribe. It would help me make more videos. And make sure to comment with any topics you'd like me to cover in future videos. Also, it would be really nice if you could support me on Patreon. Thank you.
Press escape. Click on your passport icon at the bottom.
Thank you.
I have to stop and tell you guys about Lecturio, L-E-C.
You're actually there. Thank you. I'll do it. Thank you. Okay. Okay. All right. So now we're going to go into the circulatory diseases. So these are like common things that happen when we have problems within the circulatory system. So that includes high blood pressure, strokes, heart attacks, and heart failure. You guys might know like a relative or a friend that has like these problems. I know that it's like kind of common for like heart failure, heart attack, strokes, like it increases with age. So maybe like a grandparent or someone that you know has been affected by this. Okay, so the causes for those diseases, these are some of them. So the more fat that your body has, the more work it has to do for the rest of the body. So it has to like pump extra hard to get the blood distributed to all the tissues. Unhealthy eating habits would also be included in that, as well as smoking and a sedentary lifestyle. Okay, this is a fun fact. Every pound of fat that is put on is adding 5 miles of blood vessels to the body's system. So that just shows that like what we're eating and those kinds of choices make a huge difference, because that's 5 extra miles that the heart will have to like pump the blood for to the rest of the body. Okay, so these are some ways that we can lower the risk factors by exercising for 30 to 60 minutes per day in that third level that Ryan was just talking about. Balanced diet, so avoiding foods that are high in sugar and fats, as well as too much sodium, because those are often the ways, like consuming those foods, that we would see weight gain. As well as choosing to sit instead of stand, choosing to walk instead of drive. Speaking with your doctor about potential risk factors is a very good idea, as well as speaking with family about like your family history, just because they may know more about it than you do. Okay. The exercise choice, so what's recommended like to increase blood flow and better your cardiovascular health would be any aerobic activities, which are all of your cardio activities. So that could include running, biking, hiking, swimming, or even brisk walking, because it gets your heart rate up very quickly. Shelby, do you have another example of an aerobic activity? Yeah, nice. Lexi, do you have another example?
Playing a hockey game.
Yeah, that's really good. Okay. Okay, so these are the main focuses on prevention, which is getting active physically regularly, because that, again, will decrease your chances of having one of those diseases, as well as lowering your cholesterol, lowering your blood sugar and blood pressure levels, that as well. Okay, why does this matter? That's a good question. Okay. The number one killer in the United States is heart disease, which you may not have known. And so this is killing more people than like suicide, any other like disease or anything, more than corona. Heart disease is like the number one killer, so that's why it's important to like lower our risk factors and think about these choices. And those are my sources. Thank you.